Welcome to the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. In this episode, Jeremy's sippin' corn and spillin' tea. He reviews Larceny from the good folks at Heaven Hill Distillery, imitates Stuart McKenzie from So I Married an Axe Murderer, and goes off on lay-down bicycles. This is episode 27 of the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Hey there, Backyardigans. It's Jeremy with the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Hey, for those of you watching on YouTube, how's it going? I am dressed up. I thought I'd take it up a notch rather than just slopping on in here and mailing this in. We're going to do a quality presentation. Ignore everything above the chin, but from here down, neck down, it's looking all right, right? Oh, real quick, I was listening to Mike Rowe's broadcast a couple weeks ago on his podcast, and I don't need a spoiler alert because I'm not telling you what story this is about, but the person it was about was Colonel Sanders. Not the guy exactly you'd think he was, but it was a great story, and it got me thinking about So I Married an Axe Murderer, and then I started thinking about the whole Stuart McKenzie thing. So I've been doing this Scottish accent back and forth all around. Oh, how are you? You think that'll go good, do you? Yeah. Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world, known as the Pentaveret, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet triannually in a secret country mansion in Colorado, known as the Meadows. Who's in this Pentaveret? The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up. Oh, I hated the Colonel with his wee beady eyes. And that smug look on his face. Oh, you're gonna buy my chicken. Oh. Dad, how can you hate the Colonel? Because it puts an addictive chemical in his chicken and makes you crave it fortnight. Smart ass. I had it all the way down to that last. Hey, today we are going to review some bourbon. Larceny. Larceny by the fine folks at Heaven Hill Distillery. A distillery, by the way, that caught on fire in 1995 or so. 96 maybe. So, yeah, can you imagine a distillery? In fact, according to reports, the distillery... let me find it. Okay. I can't find it, but the heat was so intense in the Heaven Hill Distillery that it melted the helmets of 2 of the firefighters that were involved in fighting the blaze. And in fact, they didn't even fight the blaze for more than like 25 minutes because it was getting so far out of control. They were just in like damage protection mode, so they were focusing their efforts on hosing down other buildings. There was like a liquid bourbon river on fire pouring out of the distillery. Barrels were exploding and rocketing through the sky like shooting stars. The fire marshal said he was nauseated by the smell. Well, I'm nauseated by the thought of all that bourbon just going up in flames. Aren't you? I am too. So, let's see. Let's get some stats here on the old Larceny that we're going to do. This is very special small batch, 92 proof, so it's 46% alcohol. The Larceny story I'll tell you in just a second here, but I'm trying to find out where and when this was bottled. You don't care about that. Anyway, let's see. It's a wheated bourbon. 96 was the fire, sorry. Wheated bourbon. What does that mean? Well, according to angelsenvy.com, quote, this leaves us with the flavoring grains. Rye is more commonly used to add flavor to bourbons as it brings a unique spicy note to the spirit and flavors of pepper, clove, and nutmeg. You do know, that pleasant bite some bourbons have in the finish. Well, that's the rye. Wheat is a different story. It's less flavorful than rye, so it allows more of the corn sweetness and vanilla from the barrel to come through. So I'm really looking forward to see if I can taste that. Some might see it as a slightly flavor-neutral grain, but its defenders believe... Oh, it's got defenders. There are wheat and rye antagonists. believe that wheat retains its flavor over the course of extreme aging, 10 to 20 years. Okay, well, I doubt this is a 10 to 20-year-old bourbon because I got it for $30. But anyway, so wheated bourbon still contains at least 51% corn, typically 70 to 80%, but the remainder of the balance will be divided between barley and wheat. Okay, alrighty then. Alright, so marketing. I have become acutely aware of my susceptibility to marketing. My own susceptibilities to marketing, buying things, especially bourbon-wise, that look great but may or may not pass the sniff test. Meanwhile, the ones that are really, really good, not really paying attention to because, well, I didn't like the label. And just as you should not judge a book by its cover, you should not judge a bourbon by its label. But this is a really cool bottle. Basically, the Larceny brand is based on a guy named John E. Fitzgerald, and I'll just read from the back of the bottle. Johnny Fitzgerald's weakness was fine bourbon, and he faced temptation every day as a treasury agent. With the only set of keys to the rick houses, this is during Prohibition, taking from barrels was easy, but he didn't just take from any barrels, he took from the best barrels. Some say he was a thief. Others claim he was a man of great taste. This is the legend of Larceny. Good grief, it'd help if I'd read. This is the legend of Larceny. Unlock the smoothness and decide for yourself. So basically, they have on the label keyhole, and in the back of the bottle is a key. Very nicely done there. Top 20 of the best spirits in the world. Thought I had more information on these guys. Very well received bourbon. I saw, I think it's Bourbon Night on YouTube. They reviewed this, or it was one of their competitors. I don't know. Oh, we've got a cork stopper. Just gotta love that cork stopper. Okay, I'll stop putting my thumbs in the air. Anyways, the gal on It's Bourbon Night said this is her go-to bourbon to recommend to anyone. So, we're going to judge the color, taste. Actually, let me clean my palate before it. There we go. Before I try anything. Very good smell. You know what? Another podcast you might want to check out. Jack Daniels is now doing their own official podcast, and they've only got 2 so far, but they are very interesting. The second one, they had the master distiller on for Jack Daniels. What a job. Great interview. This guy was really, really good. Obviously, you'd have to be Jack Daniels distiller, but he confirmed what I brought up last podcast, which was that technically Tennessee whiskey, using the Lincoln County process, as they call it, is a bourbon that's just run through an extra step. In fact, the U.S. government classified it as a bourbon, and Jack Daniels' nephews, who inherited the company from him, fought with the U.S. government about it, saying, actually, we have always called it a Tennessee whiskey, and that's what we think it is. And they sent samples to the U.S. government. Imagine being that guy. What's your job today? I got to test some bourbon, see if it's bourbon or if it's whiskey. You need some help? No. Go away! As he locks the door. Anyway, Larceny. Characteristics. Oh, the reason I brought up Jack Daniels Master Distiller. There goes my dog. Every time I'm on camera, he needs to be outside. Anyway, Jack Daniels Master Distiller recommended anytime you try a new bourbon or whiskey, try it neat. So that's what we're doing. And here we go. Okay, so this is from the company's website. Color, bright new copper. Well, let's pour a little. Let's see if we can, let's get this tag out of the way. Color, bright new copper. Yeah, okay, that's bright new copper. You know, it's a little lighter than an amber color, so I can see that for sure. Aroma, according to the website, fresh bread and toffee with a note of butterscotch. Well, I definitely saw the smelt the butterscotch. Not advanced enough to pick up the fresh bread. Toffee, I'm not even picking up the toffee though. Let's see, buttery caramel taste with honeyed notes and a rich mouthfeel. It would help if I could read. All right. Okay, so for marks on presentation, marketing, etc. Great job, Larceny. You're doing everything right. Problem is with marketing, you start suspecting you're paying more. All right. So these guys, this bottle was $30, Oklahoma, of course, added almost $4 in tax. Thank you. Here we go. Very full taste. Definitely could taste the honey. I think I could have even come up with that myself before I read it. That's how strong that. It's not a strong honey taste, but it's present. Let me try another one. Oh. Yeah, it's very buttery. The finish, long, gently sweet for sure, and savory. Oh, Larceny, you did a great job. Hey, so, also, I saw today, and this is nothing new, but I saw somebody on one of those lay-down bikes, you know, where you lay down on your back and you crank your neck at an awkward angle. I don't get the appeal of these bikes. Take a nap or ride a bike. Don't do both at the same time. You can do one before the other. Either way, you could take a nap and then go for your bike ride, or you could take a bike ride and since you're tired, take a nap. But don't do them at the same time. I couldn't believe how stupid this woman looked. And like, it stretches your legs farther out. If I had no soul, this is the product I would sell people. Give me that hard-earned cash. I'll replace it with a bicycle that lays down, hurts your neck, hurts your calves because I put the pedals way too far for you to reach, so you're tiptoeing while you're laying on your back. You're not comfortable, you can't see, and it's completely unsafe. Also, I'll sell you some clothes that don't do anything to flatter your flabby body. Strap you down, tie your feet into the pedals so you think you're in the Tour de France for some reason, send you on your way. Oh, and if you got any friends, send them my way. Okay. Well, that about does it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I dressed up for this one, so if you're not watching us on YouTube, take a look at our YouTube channel, Backyard Bourbon Broadcast. Hope you are doing well. Hope you can enjoy a sip of Larceny if you get the chance. It's a very great bourbon. I recommend it. Join us next time. We'll be trying out some different bourbons. I've got Four Roses coming up one of these days. Really looking forward to that. I have spoke with a representative of their fine company, and they're sending me a bottle to test out, and I have heard nothing but good things about Four Roses. It's not a bourbon I probably would have picked until I started reading and hearing a lot about it, and boy, their customer service over there is wonderful too. So take care, drive safe, don't drink and drive, but don't ever drive one of those lay down bikes. That's